When making an extreme demon, or any level for that matter, creating a sequel is usually a far easier way to make a level, as it means you already have a base on how your level should look and play like, and all you have to do now is try to improve on the ideas and decoration in the original level. The one drawback to this though is that if you make a poor sequel, it is way easier for people to call your level trash and point out its flaws, as they can directly compare it to the original work. The level I'm going to talk about today, called Subterminal Point, is definitely currently getting that latter treatment, and I want to give my thoughts on the level and give my opinion on whether it is a good sequel or not, if it's deserving the hate it is currently getting. To jump right into the review, I'll lay down some basic info. Subterminal Point is a recently verified extreme demon by Psychwell, and is the official sequel to the famous level trueffet. Now, to understand the actual pros and cons of Subterminal Point, we need to know why trueffet was actually so liked in the first place. trueffet was a top 10 extreme when it was verified, and if it wasn't for Firework, it would actually have been top 1 for a short amount of time. The level has a really intense song that matches its clicks being really fast paced, and it just has a really cramped form of gameplay, making it, in my opinion, one of the most stressful top 10s to play, at least at the time of its release. The decoration had this nice blue and purple color scheme that matched its block design pretty well, and I can only describe it as church-like, I guess. Well, maybe the level doesn't seem too unique to us now. I think at the time of its release in 2021, I think it was a pretty cool level with great concepts that were not really seen much in any other levels at the time, and I still think today it's a really good, like, 7.5 out of 10 level. Now, let's move on to Subterminal Point. I like to talk about positives first, so I'll talk about them now, and first off, I do actually like the color scheme more than trueffet. It doesn't keep itself to the same colors for every part, so it makes each part feel way more unique and memorable compared to the samey colored parts in trueffet. Yeah, th- that's it. I don't have any more positives to say here, as the rest of the things I'm going to talk about, I think trueffet just does way better. Now, before I talk about the negatives, I do want to preference that this level isn't inherently bad. On its own, it's a perfectly fine level, but when you call this a trueffet sequel, I see it in a lot more of a negative way, and the level ends up just being more of a disappointment to me. So let's start off with the obvious problem being the song, and I think this is the most hated part of it that I've been seeing. While trueffet had this insanely intense song that had me on the edge of my seat playing and watching the level, Subterminal Point is the most calm song I've ever heard, and this is a problem for two reasons. The obvious one being that it does not match the original level at all. Instead of building on that pro that trueffet had with a really intense song, it just removed all of it, and that just leaves a really bad taste in my mouth. Add on to the fact that this level is a potential top 30, and that makes it even more of a problem, as it means it's a top 30 with no intensity whatsoever. And when I say no intensity, I mean it, as this level could not even care to have a drop. You can't just be a sequel to one of the most intense extremes ever and just not even have a drop. Come on. Sadly, the decoration does not help the level's case either. It's debatably worse than trueffet's decoration, even though this level was made in an update that came out years after trueffet's release. Again, this is a case of, by itself, the decoration is fine. It's serviceable, but as a sequel, it just fails pretty poorly. Now, despite what I've been hearing people say, I do think the block design matches trueffet's and attempts to build upon it. But for some reason, it all just looks lower quality in this level. Especially in this part. I see many drawbacks, like this background looking horrid, and these 2.2 chains really not fitting in with the rest of the level. Like, why are you using normal decoration and just having pixel chains randomly thrown in? That just doesn't make sense to me. All the other parts are fine, but again, don't carry any feeling of intensity with them and lead it all just to be an underwhelming mush that not even the variation of colors that I was talking about before that was a protest level can save. It all just kinda meshes in together. If I could give one thought on what the level reminds me of, I would just call it an easy demon that's top 30 for no reason whatsoever. In fact, the level being hard is really the only thing that it actually has going for it that relates it to trueffet. Overall, in my opinion, the level is just an okay level that fails horribly at being a sequel. And it's not even like Cosmos Unleashed, where I think it's got some really bad aspects, but does improve on some things that the original level had going for it. Subterminal Point just pretty much fails to really improve on anything at all, and again, just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Keeping in mind that this level is a sequel, I'm gonna give this level a generous 3 out of 10. It's just not for me. Now, before the video ends, I don't want anyone to now go on and hate the level just because of this review. At the end of the day, hours of time was spent building this level, and it's far better than anything I could make, so please, please take that into consideration before being vocal about your opinion on a level. But with that being said, thanks for watching the video. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed, Discord link is in the description as always, and peace.